guys, so this week is our vlog week, which means we pretty much can talk about whatever we want to talk about. And so I've decided that I wanted to talk about the fine line between transphobia and ignorance. Now, one of my favorite talk show hosts, Wendy Williams, has accused a lot lately of being transphobic on her show and to being very disrespectful in general to trans women. While I do agree that she has been disrespectful, I don't necessarily think that she is transphobic. I don't think that Wendy Williams has anything against trans people. I think she's just a very ignorant person. I think because she has gay staff and a lot of people see her as somebody who's probably, well educated when it comes to the LGBT community because of her interactions with them, that she should know more than she actually does. And I think it's silly to assume that somebody should know something, even if it is something that does irritate you. But yeah, I think that she obviously has some shortcomings when it comes to knowing about every letter of the LGBT community. I don't think she knows much about trans people, and because of that I think it is hurting her. But like I said, I don't think that she's transphobic, and I think it's important to take that into consideration when dealing with anyone. I think it's important to identify ignorance and make sure to not mislabel it as transphobia, because it's a very serious accusation when it comes to labeling someone as transphobic. I don't think anybody appreciates being called something as serious as being transphobic. And I think that a lot of times, because the trans community is so exhausted with the blatant disrespect that we deal with on a daily basis, we oftentimes don't feel like giving chances to people who do disrespect us. And while I can completely understand that, I don't think it's doing our community any favors to not meet these people halfway. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take both sides to really get the type of communication and understanding going that we want. So at the end of the day, I think it's really important to make sure that you are trying your best to give everyone who disrespects you a second chance. Now, I know this may be very, very hard, and in a lot of cases, it's not always necessary. If somebody's intentionally, hurling hate at you, obviously this is not the type of person who probably wants to understand you. But I think there's a lot of cases where somebody may be asking an ignorant question or something that's very inappropriate, and it's easy to get irritated very quickly and completely dismiss this person. But a lot of times these people are genuinely curious, and they do really want to know more about us. And I think it's important, like I said, for us to meet them halfway. And if they are asking inappropriate questions, to kind of redirect them and educate them. Somebody who's really good at this is Laverne Cox, who was on Wendy Williams' show. And she did that exact thing. Wendy Williams was asking kind of about surgeries, I think, that Laverne Cox had. And Laverne redirected her and instead, made an example and tried to educate her instead. And I think that is absolutely the best thing that you can do is, to do that and to kind of meet that person and instead of, taking the negativity that you're, getting from them when it comes to like inappropriate questioning and turning it into something positive, which is education. I think it's just so important that that is done. And even if you can't necessarily commit to that, because it is a lot, I understand, at least just put yourselves in situations where people can see you and interact with you, who aren't necessarily very I would say read on trans people or who don't know very much about trans people, because then they can see the way that other people interact with you and then follow suit that way. I think a lot of people are really embarrassed when it comes to how ignorant they can be about certain things, and they are afraid to even ask some questions or to approach a trans person because they don't want to come across as somebody who's being hateful or doesn't know what they're talking about. So some people will just observe. So I think it's important to kind of put yourself out there and make sure people can see you and that they're dealing with you on a daily basis. To introduce yourself to some people who may not necessarily be people that you would normally interact with because you think they might be judgmental. And in some cases this will go wrong and those people will actually be very judgmental of you. But in a lot of other cases you may make friends and those people will tell other people, and the next thing you know, you have more of an understanding with the people that you interact with on a daily basis when it comes to them respecting you as a trans person. I think that this is a great way to gain acceptance and to educate and to get everybody to get along a little bit better. I myself know that I deal with a lot of just stupid people, but I constantly remind myself of people like Laverne Cox, who really take every opportunity to educate people and to make sure that people understand us and they know the right way to talk to us. So no, I don't think Wendy Williams is transphobic. And I don't think that a lot of people who get labeled as transphobic are transphobic. They're just very ignorant. And I think that it is partially our job to make sure that these people don't continue to be ignorant. And that's pretty much my vlog this week. It was short, but it's just something that I kind of wanted to talk about because I've noticed it a lot online, and I just thought it was a little silly. But feel free to voice your comment down below. I mean, maybe I said something you don't agree with, and I would totally like to know if that's the case. I would also like to say there are a lot of changes coming up on the dollhouse. We are going to be introducing a new doll, so I'm very excited about that. There are auditions going on right now for that, so look forward to that soon. We all are also doing a lot of changes coming up, doing more topics. We're going to be doing more challenges. I'm very excited. We have a lot going on. We recently hit 5,000 subscribers, which I'm not sure if I've said in a video already yet, but it was a very big milestone for us. We are very proud of that. And we are closely approaching 500,000 views, which I also think is absolutely amazing. We could not do what we do without you guys. And I'm so excited that people are interested in what we have to say and that this channel continues to have a purpose. And that's why we all do it, because we know that it means something to you guys. And we would love it if you would give us your input and make sure that if you aren't seeing something that you want us to see talk about, to let us know, or if there's something you want us to see do with the channel, that you tell us so that we can, consider it. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I was absent last week. I just had some stuff, basically the same excuse I always give. But I will see you guys next week, and I love you. Bye-bye.